Welcome to the Easy Speak Speakeasy.
You've unlocked the door to unfiltered mental health and wellness conversations. Welcome to another episode of the Easy Speak Speakeasy, episode 26. Yes. Oh my gosh. I can't believe it's been 26 episodes. How exciting.
It's so wild. Look at
We're
us go.
I know.
Double
getting
digits
close.
and chat.
Double digits, like we're a whole ass, like almost mature frontal lobe adult in
Right?
neurology terms.
Mm-hmm.
And which means that we're also close to our 1 year anniversary. It's our anniversary.
Anniversary.
Which is so exciting. We're going to do a special episode, and I'm just going to tease it a little bit now because we're talking about it. So when you come to watch or listen to our birthday episode, February 3rd, I highly suggest you watch it on YouTube because the visuals are going to go crazy. Slay.
Crazy. Go crazy.
Goes crazy.
So like your boy Prince. Let's go crazy.
Yeah. I love Prince. Oh my God. Every once in a while, I just have like a moment out of nowhere where I just have this irreverent feeling of just like, oh my God, I love Prince so much.
Literally.
And then I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe he's gone. And then I'm like, oh my God, he was amazing.
I know.
So, yeah.
I was listening to Diamonds and Pearls the other day.
Oh,
and then I like pulled up a picture of it for my daughter, Michaela, and a picture of him. And I was like, Prince, the first ever true gender bender in the world.
Yes. Walking around in heels, sexy as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and he was little too. Like,
yeah.
He was a short king and he was just like larger than life.
Yeah.
Breaking all the rules.
Slay. Mm-hmm.
Total slay. So here we are. It's a new year, 2024. And the energy has definitely been New Year-ish. Everywhere I look, I feel like there's a renewed sense of vigor and energy in the air. And so I think our topic of today is perfect for the beginning of the year because it aligns really well with manifesting and all of the things that come from it.
Yes, manifest this life.
Yes. And we had an episode on manifesting, but this is like a specific manifestation technique. So
love practice.
Yes. Tell us what we're talking about today as I sip on my drink.
Ooh, yeah. Check that out on the Easy Sips for the recipe. That looks delicious.
It's really good.
What's it called? The fucking delightful?
The fucking delightful. Because that's what it is. It's delightful. It's delightful and fucking refreshing.
Delightful.
It's refreshing. It's fucking refreshingly delightful.
What a vibe.
Total
vibe. Kind of like this podcast. Fucking refreshingly delightful.
Yes. Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
So we're going to talk about vision boarding and vision journaling.
Yes.
Which is something that I do every single year. Dahyana, you and I always are together doing some kind of vision board something. I usually have a vision board party, which I've had too much going on to plan. I don't think it's going to happen this year. But that's okay because I'll just be doing my own vision board. Yeah. But it's really about taking the time to, one, for me, it's always like dedicating some time just to myself, my thoughts, my goals, my future, like what I envision for myself in my life. And it's so interesting because usually make vision boards and I hang them up. And so each year, everybody has a different technique. I think we'll talk about like our different vibes about how we do it. But when you vision board on a regular basis, you start to pick up themes in your
Yeah.
life. And like one thing that I definitely have seen, like in looking at my vision boards hanging up, or when I like pull some out that I've put away, because if I put them all up, it would be like wallpaper. And
Yeah. At this point, yeah.
um, it's like I always see things happening, and I always see like they'll be like looking back like who I was that year and like who I am now. There's like you can kind of see like the progression of your
Mhm.
life. And I love that because I feel like it reinforces what I'm doing. And for me, like I just love to have a visual in front of me of what I'm striving for, because I feel like throughout everybody's life and like within a year's time, let's say, there are always times where you're like, what is going on? Like, I'm lost right now. I'm spiraling. Oh my God. Like, find me at the bar all day
Yeah.
because I can't talk to anyone. Everybody's pissing me off. My mother better not call me. My boyfriend better not call me. My friends better not call me. No, thank you. Like, I'm just shutting down. Like, right.
Yep.
It's like everything is too overwhelming. And so I think like having that board or notebook or like representation of like when you were with you and spent time putting down like what it was that you wanted from this particular year, it really can help to like ground you back in life and like in your dreams and in your goals. And for me, like I love looking at my vision boards. I love going back to them and thinking about all the things that I've achieved or that I'm striving towards. It's just such a great practice.
It really is. I mean, I feel like there's so many layers to the vision board process, which make such a huge difference in just like kind of understanding why we would even do it. I know that I've talked with different people in my life about vision boarding, and usually that's within the context of understanding the concept of manifestation. And a lot of that seems to be like very like woo woo hippy dippy stuff to people who may have different spiritual beliefs, or maybe a little bit more logical, black and white, or kind of like scientific in their thought process. And so, I always like to just kind of frame vision boarding as kind of like what you said. It's a way to have a roadmap, like a center of what all of your goals are across various areas of your life. And, I truly believe in manifesting. We've had a whole episode on this, and the concept that where we direct our energy and the energy that we decide to take into our lives makes a huge difference in the trajectory and our ability to achieve our goals. And things like visualization and deep meditative states have been shown to have a linkage to people achieving their goal. And in a very concrete way, we can think about it from the perspective of like athletes who undergo visualization techniques to help them get ready for an upcoming game, right? They just like go into a deep state of meditation and imagine themselves making 1,000 shots from the 3-point line. And then they go and they actually play, and it feels like second nature for them to be taking that shot because they've seen themselves do it in their mind's eye over and over and over again. So all of the feelings, all of the kind of like neural connections that are part of the development of a goal are kind of primed through that visualization process, and like lay the perfect foundation for all of the actions that we're going to take to achieve our goals. So, I too love to look back on my vision boards of the past years and And it's always astounding to me to see all of the different things that I put on there that I have actually come true. And like, when you're living your life, like you said, it's hard to kind of like take a step back and see, everything from like a 30,000-foot perspective, or, from a wider angle. But, you know, there are times where I have to remind myself, like, I'm literally living the life that I manifested and dreamed of 5 years ago. Even though this life is still challenging because I'm still living a human existence, there are so many things to be grateful for. And I just think that manifesting and using the art of visualization can really make a difference in all of that happening.
Yeah, totally. And I think that, like, as you were talking about the different neural pathways and all of that, like, there are actual studies that have been done where they've had people lay and they hook people up with all the different monitors and stuff,
Yeah.
and look at people's brain,
Yeah.
and they
PET
tell them to
scans.
visualize, yeah, like visualize yourself running that race or driving that car or whatever it is. And the same responses that happen in the brain happen when you're visualizing it as when you're actually doing that activity. And
Yeah.
so it just shows like the power that your mind has, even when you're not physically doing something, that when your mind is committed to doing something,
Mhm.
it's like your body will follow.
Yeah. Yeah. And, there's that movie that we love. It's also a book, The Secret, and I think we mentioned it during our manifestation episode as well. But there's
Mhm.
so many different lines in that movie that I feel like really helped to conceptualize it. But like that main one that I said before, like energy goes where attention flows, right? So, talk about even the ways that we speak about ourselves, or the things that we say about our situations. The things that we say make a difference in what we see in our mind's eye, and therefore what we see as a reality around us. I saw a post the other day that said something like, never say that you're sick, which I like say all the time. Like when I'm sick, I'm like, oh, I'm sick. Like I feel really gross. And it was like, instead say you're healing. Right. And that's like, you're saying the same thing, but you're directing your energy in a way that is for abundance and health and wealth, versus that kind of lack and the deterioration of, that coincides with that energy of being sick. So, you know,
Totally. There's actually a great show, I wonder if it's still on Netflix. It might still be on Netflix. It's called Heal,
oh yeah.
and it's I think that it's a wonderful thing to watch. It's all about, like, stories of people who have healed their body by, like, the power of positive thinking, and also, like, doing things actively to infuse, like, positivity into their life, and, all these different. No, the chief of Snuggles is over here being his normal self, attention seeking.
He's like, hello, mom.
So Caitlin, come get the dog. I'm gonna have to cut this whole piece out.
At the easy speak.
Yeah, there's no dogs allowed at the Easy Speak. Usually he's put away.
Mm. It's okay. We don't mind a few barks from Biscuit.
Um,
He looked like he was about to
yeah,
say
can you
something
take
into the
him?
mic.
Because he's like, thank you. Um, so yeah, so there's this great special. I don't know if it's called the special. I don't know why I called it a special. There's a great episode on Netflix called Heal, and it just is all about like these different positive things that you can do. But a big piece of it is about the power of your mind and how, like, there are so many things that you can achieve by your mind and visualizing. And so this is really like what vision boards are good for, because I've yet to see anybody make a vision board that has anything negative on it. Like,
True
just
that.
by nature, like, you automatically put beautiful, wonderful things onto your vision board, right? Like,
Yeah.
like nobody's like gonna post like a picture of a virus or like
Yeah,
like
no.
sickness or something like on their vision board, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's supposed to be big and beautiful and grandiose and like all of the things that of your heart's desire, and the abundance that we have all around us all the time, regardless of where you live or what your like economic status is or any of those things. That there's a level of like love and abundance that is around all of us all the time that we can access if we choose to open our eyes and look at it, and
Yeah.
like one of the things that like I always do is when I collect things, like magazines and different kinds of things to use for the vision board that I'm making, I pick up all free magazines all the time. Like, I don't
Yeah.
even subscribe to any magazines. So even the things that like I'm pulling from are like free resources. Like, the
Yeah.
only thing that I like pay for it to make a vision board is like my 50 cent like cardboard thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
poster board from the dollar store, and like a dollar set of glue sticks, and I'm
Yeah.
like ready to go.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't cost anything to like infuse that like positivity into your life and infuse like those goals into your life. And it's so profound to wake up every day and look at what you're driving towards, the goals that you're going to, or look at it above your desk every day, or wherever it is that you want to look at it. Or maybe you make it and you put it away and it's just something that
Yeah.
you've done and it's there and you pull it out whenever you want to and like see what's going on. Everybody has a different way that they utilize their vision board. But it's I think starts right off from like that time where you just sit and you're like thumbing through magazines and words. For me, I feel like the correct words and the correct numbers and the correct pictures, they just jump off of the page at me. It's like just a chill time to just like thumb through magazines, and it's almost like God and the universe is just like giving me what I'm supposed to have on there.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. As you were talking, I was just thinking about what my process this year for my vision board is going to be, because it is going to be a little bit different this year because we're not doing the vision board party. I usually get it started at the vision board party. And by get it started, I mean just like flip through all the magazines I can and cut out everything I can. And then I go home and I glue it all together and like visualize it and put it all together typically. Um, but I was just thinking, and there's so many different approaches to a vision board. I think it could be a source of brainstorming and inspiration kind of happening at the same time. And it could also be a very intentional process whereby you kind of map out all of the different areas of your life that you're looking to really be intentional with goal setting around. And then you find the things that coincide with that and kind of arrange them. And then another thing that I wanted to just point out in terms of like technique and like ways to approach it is that one of our friends actually opted to do like a vision board journal. So it wasn't like a
Mhm.
poster board, but it was a journal that she is kind of utilizing as the years go on, which I thought was super awesome when I saw her pull that journal out last year at our vision board party and saw all of the stuff that she had put in there from the previous year and saw like all the pages that she had left to like keep adding stuff to it. That was
Mhm.
really that like spoke to me in terms of like continuity, because oftentimes I do like a vision board for that particular year, but I've seen things happen off of my vision board outside of the frame of that 1 year time frame, right? Like
Mhm.
time's a construct. And when we finally achieve the things that we're looking to manifest, like who knows? It's up to the universe. And so I really liked the concept of having all of the visions in one place. So I
Mhm.
think this year I'm gonna go that route. And I feel like it's also a little bit more like personal. Um,
Mhm.
because I also realized this past year, because I used to have my vision board on this wall behind me. For those people who are listening, there's this like blank space behind me. This is my office that I'm in. And I realized this past year that like every Zoom meeting I'm on, like people can see my vision board. And I am definitely in my era of like, keep it quiet until it's like actually a thing. And, to help
Real
boost
G's move in silence.
to help boost the power behind my intention so that it's not
Mhm.
tainted by others' thoughts, feelings, and emotions, because at the end of the day, it's all energy, right? And so,
Mhm.
like, and if you want to get witchy with it, you could totally put like a protection spell on there. Like we can talk about that in a different episode. But like I was just like thinking to myself, like this year my visions are gonna be to me. um, there's a song. Is it Stevie Nicks? I keep my visions to myself.
Yeah,
There's
I think it
lyrics.
is.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, I get it, Stevie. I get it.
I get you,
So
you witchy girl.
I get you. And like, I think so like vision boards, from what I've seen, most people typically like to have a mixture of pictures and words. And everyone's a little bit different in terms of what that visual looks like. For some people, words hit harder than seeing something, and for other people it's the other way around. But I really love it as an exercise to do in the new year. Everyone's already thinking about New Year's resolutions. And while I think those are great, scientifically, we know that most resolutions fall flat because
Mhm.
they're motivated by kind of surface level, superficial things. And I think that's the difference between like what I would consider a New Year's resolution and like the creation of a vision board, because the vision board really it gets to the heart of where you want to go, what you want to do across multiple domains of your life. And I think it just helps to like direct all of your universal and abundant energy in one unified direction, despite the fact that we might have multiple goals and things that we're trying to manifest going on at the same time.
Yeah, it definitely brings around that, like, increased level of self-awareness, you know?
Mm.
It's like, yeah, like, this is really what I want, and this is really what I'm striving for, and
Yeah.
like I said earlier, it's so easy to get lost in, like, sometimes the day-to-day stressors or, like, things come up that we're not planning. This is life, right? Like,
Yeah.
so where you're trying to get through it, and I think the other thing is that when you have a vision board that you've created and however you have it displayed, not displayed, like it's something that you've created with your hands. There's so much research about what happens when you actually do something with your hands and the connection that that makes with your brain. Um, and so it adds like there's this level of increased motivation, I think, when you have a vision board. If you've put like say you're making one around, like, maybe you're striving for some kind of promotion at work or you're starting a business or something like that, and you decide to make, like, a specific people some people make vision boards for a specific 100% goal. They're like, "I'm making a
Yeah.
vision board for the goal, like, of this business," right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, when you put, like, all these things down, like, I remember one year we made a vision board, we put a number together
Yeah.
on our individual vision boards, but it was for our business, and that year
Yeah.
we blew that number out of the
Yeah.
water,
We did.
actually.
We did.
And when we looked at it the next year, we were like, "Do we hit that number?" And we looked at it and we were like, "Oh my god, like, we blew
Yeah.
that number out of here,
We
like, in the first
literally
3 months
2x'd.
of the year." Yeah, and it was
We
like,
2x'd
"Oh
that
my
number.
god, we need to put some more numbers on this year, I think."
Yes. Yeah, I was thinking when we're together in San Diego shortly, we should maybe include that as one of our like fun night activities is to do like a pinnacle vision board. And since we're
Yeah,
not having a vision board party this year, and that might be a fun thing to do.
I think we should.
Um, yeah, that'll
Yeah,
be
but I
fun.
think there's definitely like increased motivation around whatever your goals are. It could be having better mental health, right? Taking better care of your mental health and making time to go for that 30-minute walk every day, or to read
Yeah,
a chapter of a book every single day, or to learn how to meditate if you don't know how to, or
yeah,
there's just so many different things. And if you're feeling like your mental health isn't as strong, like this is a great way to motivate yourself, is make a vision board about like all of the different types of things around mental health that like you would love to incorporate into your life. And the goal is to like put it on there even if it feels like there's no way this is never going to happen, right? Like,
yeah,
you listen, things happen to people, and it's like there's so many stories of how somebody was like, I have no idea how I got here, right?
yeah,
Like, so many
yeah.
successful people are like, I worked hard, but like also like there are these like defining moments, or like this person that you met that like just opened up this door for you, this opportunity. Like you just never know like what is
It's so
coming
true.
down the road. So like maybe like your goal is to be able to like fly to Paris and like stare at the Eiffel Tower while like the lights are going off, like, and be able to like beam out your energy underneath it. Like, put that Eiffel Tower on
Yeah,
your board, you know what I
put it
mean?
on
Like,
there.
you have no idea, like, who you could potentially meet tomorrow that's, like, offers you a job that involves travel, and a year later, you're on a flight to Paris. Like, it's just,
Literally.
like, it's honestly, like, can be that easy. It
Yeah.
doesn't things are not as far out of our reach as we think they are.
100%, 100%. And I think that was one of the biggest things that I took away from when I watched The Secret, is just that, like, the limiting beliefs that we put on our goals 100,000% affect their ability to come to fruition, right? Like, the
Mhm.
things we say, like, oh, I want to be a famous ballet dancer one day, but that's not going to happen because XYZ. We have all of these excuses. And, I, again, I feel like we somewhat live in a society of pessimistic people, right? 9 times out of 10, you ask somebody how they're doing it, and like you're gonna get a complaint out of their mouth
You're like,
first, right? And so,
"Oh,"
yeah,
immediately.
yeah,
"Oh."
immediately, it's always like something negative, and
I'm like,
you
"Hold
know, the
on, let me give myself a quick Reiki bath from this. I
yeah,
need to cut these cords."
literally, literally, and so yeah, I feel like it can be really challenging to stay in a space of like possibility, and like things are possible, like the mindset of I don't know how this is going to happen, but I just know it's going to happen, and I truly believe that in my core. That is somewhat of a practice that I feel like vision boarding can help to make more kind of a regular thing, especially if you put your vision board somewhere that's prominent, right? Like you see it every day and you're like, one day I'm going to have that beach house. And, you're looking at your bank account and you're like, those people who, including me, who scroll on Zillow looking at $1 million homes with like way less than that in their bank account. Like that's me. But like, I'm still like, one day, like that's going to
Mhm,
be, so I want to know everything I need to know about this whole situation right now. And
mhm.
so, yeah, I think, vision boarding can help with kind of just turning the tide with our thought process, and being open to what the universe has to offer us, and know that we are limited human beings. Like our brains can't even fathom the vastness of the universe. And it's kind of freeing in a way to kind of think about things from that perspective and be like, I may not know how exactly the step by step, which can be really hard for some people, especially people, type A people, people like me who like to plan. I'm like, hello, universe, give me a sign. I need to know.
Mhm.
Am I doing the right thing, or is this making it worse, or is this better? Like,
This is always me when I'm driving down the road and I'm thinking about something. I'm like, "Send me an angel number if
yeah,
this is the correct thought process." I'm reading all the license plates around me, just looking for an angel number somewhere.
literally. So it can be challenging if you're like want to be in control, if you're the type of person who likes to feel in control, to like give up your dreams to the universe. But I feel like the control you have is making sure that the universe fully understands what it is that you want. And vision boarding like can make it so clear for both you and the energy around you to like fall in line.
Yeah,
So I'm a big
and
fan of vision boarding.
our friend who has the notebook, like the vision journal,
Yeah, yeah.
she hers is just that. It's like the combination of a vision board and a journal, and so the way
Mhm.
that she outlined hers, it is pretty brilliant. She
Yeah,
is a quite the brilliant mind.
she's smart.
Um, she's you smart.
She's smart.
Um, so what she did is on each page, on, like, the top of the page or the middle of the page, however she kind of felt, like, inspired, she put whatever, like, the thing is, and then she left space to be able to write when the vision happens, like, when this
Oh, yeah.
goal comes
Yeah, yeah.
true, and so it, like, serves her in 2 ways. It's, like, a very interactive thing, so when she travels to that place or she achieves that thing, she can actually, like, write and journal, like, about that process, and what she said to me is, like, to be able to also write in there, like, gratitude about the fact that, like, she has these things, and it's interesting because was having a conversation with her yesterday, and we've been chatting about work for her and stuff recently, and so I was just kinda checking in, and she was like, "Yeah, things are going good," and, like, settling in, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, a little bit, like, not in love with what exactly is happening right now, but she's just trying to, like, get through it.
Yeah.
And she was like, I I got a $25,000 raise, for what, all of this stuff that has been going on. She's like, "So that's good." And I said, "So, like, let's just stop for a second and, like, remember the times when, like,
Yeah.
getting that amount of money would be unbelievable, like, to m
Yeah.
to even make that, like, in a year, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like, and she's somebody who, like, came from a place of raising a child with mental health needs and, like, lived that life of, like, going from job to job for, like, just trying to hold on for all that she could for a while because, like, everything that was happening with her kid made it that she couldn't, like, really build a career until she started doing some kind of lived experience work, and then she was able to really, like, grow from there. And
Mhm.
so, like, her life is, like, really a blessing the way that she's been able to continuously, like, grow and promote family voice and, like, move systems and, like, lots of different things. And she was like, "Thank you so much for saying that." Like, she was like, "I need to, like, go and, like, write that down in my journal thing."
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, because, like, sometimes I think this is another thing that's great about vision boards is the reflection, like,
Yeah.
sometimes in life we are like, we forget how much we wanted what we have right now because
Mhm.
we're just living in it. And, like, if you stop and think, like, 5 years ago or 10 years ago, like, if you were envisioning your life and what you wanted, like, are you already sitting in it? Are you exceeding it? Like, have you even thought to, like, look back and be grateful for, like, what you've done and what, like, has been given to you by faith, the universe, God, whatever your hard work, whatever your belief is in this world is,
Yeah.
like, where are you sitting in your goals? Are you sitting in the things that you had been wishing and manifesting and dreaming for right now and not, like, even realizing it? And so
Yep.
vision boards and vision journals are a great way to, like, be really grounded in like, yeah, like I'm making it happen. Like I'm out here killing this shit. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I'm getting all these things. I'm pulling down all these blessings and I'm getting secure in these bags, like it's a way to really be like reflective about what's going on in your life.
Oh my gosh, it's so true. It's so true. It's such a powerful tool in so many different ways, and I feel like, it might feel funny to some people, because like really you're kind of like scrapbooking, you're cutting out pictures of surfboards and sun and beaches and whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, and putting and pasting it on a board, and that could feel like not very adult like, or just out of the ordinary for what we typically would be doing. But I mean, it really makes such a huge difference, and I am a
Mhm.
huge believer in it, and as a method of manifestation, I think it's very, very, very powerful. So
Yeah. And
I hope
also,
our listeners listen and try it.
I mean, we've already figured out that it'll cost you a total of $1.50 to
Yeah.
try. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure everybody has tried things that are much more expensive that they didn't like. But the other thing that I was just gonna say is when you said kind of like childlike or whatever, you know, there's something to like the fact that our kids like are always doing and creating things with their hands, right? And they're becoming like they that innocence and that like belief that there are no limits, that you can be anything that you want to be. Like as children, this is what we believe, right? That we don't understand the way that the world works and money and da, 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 da. It's just like go live in the castle, right?
Yeah.
Right? It's just like what? Like it's
Yeah.
hard.
What's
And
hard?
so, like, this is also a great thing to do with your kids, like,
Yeah.
pull out a bunch of magazines and, like, sit on the floor with them and cut out pictures, and you'd be astonished at what your kids would put on a vision board.
I
And, like,
know.
it gives you insight into, like, what your kids are thinking about. What do they think about their future? Like, what are the things that, excite them? And it helps to build in some like mental health practices with them and some self-awareness practices and all of those kinds of things. Gratitude, for
Yeah.
things that they may be cutting out that they already have or they may have experienced already. So it's not just something for adults. It's something that you can really do at almost any age. If you can operate like a pair of scissors and a glue stick, which is pretty young, you
Yeah.
can flip through magazines and say like, "What do you love here? What would you love to have in your bedroom, or where would you
Mhm.
love to go?" Or, those things. And building those things together or making a family vision board. There's so many great ways that you can kind of slice it and dice it and make it just if nothing else, it's a feel good experience for everyone, and doing something that is fun and feels good and is reducing stress. Like those are the things that we're shooting for when we're looking to create good mental health habits and mental wellness.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think you're right. It's a good overall like mental health strategy to like lay out your goals in a fun way and feel empowered and reinvigorated, and really believe in yourself and your ability to achieve them.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it with the kids. I have not done a vision board with my boys yet, but I think it'll be interesting to see what comes of theirs, They're so
Mhm.
young, but also like so opinionated and have so many thoughts, and they shock me every single day with the things that they're thinking about and the things that they're striving to achieve in their lives. So yeah, I think that'll be fun, a fun family
Yeah.
activity.
The last time that I did a vision board with my son, he had everything from like a guy that was like totally cut and buff
Yeah,
because he
yeah.
like wants to like look like amazing to like a German Shepherd to a gold watch.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was just
yeah,
like, and he was like, this is what I want. And I was like, perfect. I love it.
He has been working hard on getting buff. Every time I see him, he's got a new push-up record. So,
Totally.
that's dope. So, awesome. Well, I love talking about vision boards. I am excited to get started on my personal vision board, our collective business vision board, which I feel like we should get our whole leadership team involved in creating that situation. And maybe we could do a
Oh,
digital
yeah.
one. That would be fun.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
like a digital team vision board or something, and everybody just like adds to it. I'm just making this up as we go, but I think that would be
I
great.
like it.
Yeah. 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 You could do like vision boards, not just for yourself, but like for your whole team, like organizational vision boards. Are you joking? Hit us up if you want to learn how to do this
Yeah, because we
as an
have done vision
organization.
board workshops, by the way.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. And those are always a hit. People love those.
Love
People,
them.
yeah. The power of manifesting when you're all in a group doing it together, exponential. So,
Mhm. There's
yeah.
nothing like a collective Diana, this just happened to you. There's
Yes.
nothing like a collective, everybody's mind is on one thing and sending that
Yes.
beam of
Yes.
energy to pierce
Literally.
into the
Literally.
universe.
Literally. You cannot make this stuff up. Like literally cannot. And I am willing to share when the ink is dried on what we are referring to. I do not want to jinx it right now by sharing it with all y'all. However, a miracle happened several days after a collective manifestation session, and I was blown away, but also not at the same time because I fully believe in it and the power of manifesting. But it's also just still so amazing every time you see the results of it, especially when it happens so quick. Like some of these things might
Mhm,
take years, others might take a day or two, others might take hours, depending on what it is
mhm.
that you're manifesting and all of that good stuff. So, anyway, more power to
Yeah.
everyone who decides to collectively or individually manifest using a vision board technique. We
Yes,
love it.
go shake out your couch cushions and get $1.50
Yes.
and go down to the buck and a quarter store
Buck
because
and a
it's not the
quarter.
dollar store anymore. A buck and a
Mm.
quarter. Down to the dollar store and, get a poster board and a glue stick, and also they have free magazines in the dollar store too, or really cheap ones. Grab
Yeah, they
some
do.
magazines. Every single place that you walk by that has a free magazine, pick it up. Even if you think it has completely unrelated to your life, trust me on this. Pick up the free things that are everywhere. The free real estate magazines, the free everything magazines that are everywhere. Pick one up, and before you know it, you'll have a good amount of magazines, and you will not believe what you come out with on the other end.
Amazingness.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Visualize.
Do it.
Happy vision boarding to everyone and happy new year. Happy new year.
Yes. And in this new year, do not forget to rate, subscribe, and review our amazing, delightful podcast.
That's
It's
fuck.
fucking delightful.
It's
So,
fucking
rate
delightful.
it. Just go on there real quick and subscribe, put a fucking thumbs up, and write, "This is fucking delightful."
Yep,
Help
that's
us
all you
out.
have to do. Help us out. It's not that hard.
Help us out so we can bring delight to the masses.
Help us help you.
And stay tuned for our meditation minute, and we will talk with you guys soon.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.